Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, morning guys. Brent Hampton on the mic this morning. 2019 Kings Cup first round matches here. Race to 8. On the left of your screen you got Steve Jamieson 3-1 up over Scotty G, and on the right hand side of your screen you got Chen 6-0 up over Cindy Blackmore. So hopefully I can just make these games a little bit more interesting to watch. It's always a bit nicer with commentary when you're watching a bit of pool, but maybe not. You might actually put me on mute. So qualifying yesterday, you've had 16 seeds. The top 4 seeds, as per the seeding list, get the first round bye, and now you've got various matches happening. None of the seeds can actually bump into each other until I think it's the 3rd round, which is really good for all the seeds. Morning everyone that's listening. I'm seeing some comments on Ken Dog's YouTube feed. Morning George. I'm not sure, is that George Nitzis perhaps? Yeah, morning Georgie. How are we guys? So yeah, it looks like Edmund's in control in his match, pretty comfortable. Pretty tough match for Cindy, and that one looks like it's going to be a foul. So that's going to be 2 shots for, I think it's Cindy. And she's got a chance now on the yellows to try and pick a frame back and start her comeback. And Steve Jamieson goes up 4-1 over Scotty G. So, yeah, massive turnout this year. I think it's the biggest turnout in history of the Kings Cup. It's the fifth year of the Kings Cup, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the 5th year. 120 runners this year, so awesome to see. And a few big interstate names have made the trip. Once again, we've got guys like Jake McCartney, Tim Dixon, Steve Jamieson, and guys like Dave Rothall. Who else have we got here? Jezza Maguire coming from Tassie. It's Jamie Stevens. So yeah, great to see some support from the comp from interstate players as well. I think it's a testament to the comp, and the fact that we're having these guys come back for a 2nd year in a row as well, I think speaks volumes about the comp. So if we get into the pool, looks like Scotty G's got a really good chance to try and get one back against Steve and keep the match tight. I saw he missed a chance earlier where he had a ball just in the pocket. He had the pot and he's missed it and thrown it away. But 4-2 keeps it close. Important shot here. Just want to stun up around the middle of the table, and that's perfect. Maybe a little bit dodgy on his angle, but I think he should be fine to hold for that black to the centre. He might actually come out off the side rail. He looks like he's going to come out off that side cush. Just don't miss the pot. And that'll do. So, Scotty G keeping it tight over there. And he'll go 4-2. Yeah, I believe so. If that scoreline's correct, he's gone to 4-2. So obviously this one's sponsored by Poolstat as well. So you got the scores of all the other matches running along the top of your screen. We've got a few different time slots for matches today. So you've got a number of 10 a.m. matches. There's also some 12:30 or 12 o'clock matches, and then some 2 o'clock matches as well. So I think all that information is on the Facebook page or in... I don't think it's actually on Poolstat what time the matches are, but definitely on the Kings Cup Facebook page if you want to know what times. Matty Harmon's put a schedule of play as well as on the ACT 8 Ball Association Facebook page. So if you're interested to find out when someone that you're actually interested in watching will be playing, jump onto jump onto one of those pages and check out the schedule of play that Matty's just thrown up. Big break from Steve there, but he's potted a red. So I'm thinking he's... Oh, it's interesting. He might... Depends what he likes here. I'd be almost leaning towards yellows here. Obviously that one on the corner's a bit... On the left-hand rail's a little bit dodgy, but if you can get on it, he's fine. And it's just fallen in. So perhaps he may try and leave that yellow on the side rail, possibly his third last ball. He might just try and get on it as soon as he can. If he can get on it, I don't see any problems with anything else after it. He's got some options with those two balls to the top right, and he's also got this ball here to the bottom left. If he leaves it, I think he's got an opportunity here now with this ball to the right middle to either go into it, or try and be cute and get under it and land fat on it. He's gone into it and played really good shot. I don't know if he's got a little bit stiff there. He might still have a potting angle on it. It's not ideal, but I think he's still got a potting angle, so I think he... Again, I don't know how much angle he has on these two to the right-hand corner. If he can play the bottom one of the two and just hold and not bump the other one, I think he'll be fine to go out like that. And I think that's pretty good. He'll just be able to cheat the pocket for this yellow to the top left. And then he's just got to join the dots from here. I think he's called for someone just to watch this, but I can see the angle from here. I think he's fine. Plenty of room here. Yeah, cheated it a bit, and yeah, he played it well. So I was getting a nice response from Steve Jamieson there. Had to play a couple good shots for this out, and made it look pretty easy in the end. So he's going to go 5-2 up and says, "Don't worry about coming back at me, Scotty G. I'll show you how it's done." And on the right-hand side, we've had Chen just finish the match. I didn't even see what happened in that one, but Eddie's gone up 8-zip, and that will be the end of that one. Commiserations, Cindy, but a bit of a stiff first round, and well done, Eddie Chen. One to watch, guys. Eddie Chen, he could go deep for once. He's definitely one of the better players in Canberra, and if he can get going, he's definitely a threat to go deep in this comp. Steve's gone up 5-2. I'm not entirely sure who we're planning to have up on this TV table next. Yeah, it was pretty, just in regards to qualifying yesterday, we have a few sponsors rolling through. It was pretty cutthroat. I think it was the biggest... Yeah, the biggest number of runners we've had in the Kings Cup before. As a result, so we had, I think it was 12 groups of around 10 players per group. And from those groups, it was the top 5 went through or something like that. But it was cutthroat. You played everyone in your group once. And there were some pretty solid groups around. So there was actually a few... good players that didn't qualify yesterday. One of those was my good friend Jason Tanaskovic. So he didn't have a good day. It's really hard. I mean, if you don't start well in this type of qualifying, if you do happen to lose a few on the trot, the first 2 or 3, and you've got to win 5 or 6, quite quickly you can find yourself under the pump. And unfortunately for Tanazi, he just didn't get going quick enough yesterday, and yeah, to a lot of people's surprise, he didn't make it through, which is unfortunate, but that's pool, it happens, and it just shows it doesn't matter who you are, these types of comps, if you're not on your A game, it's quite easy for you to miss out on this sort of thing, so good learning curve for everyone, and obviously Tanaz will be pretty disappointed, but he'll be back. And Joshy King as well. Joshy King was the same. I had a hit with him before qualifying yesterday. He seemed like he was hitting the balls all right, but unfortunately for him as well, it wasn't to be. So yeah, it was quite interesting. I And a bit of a testament to the general calibre of player in the tournament this year. There was no easy groups or anything like that, and that sort of proves that as well with guys like Tanazi and Joshy missing out. So Steve has just said, bugger that yellow out of there. I want to take full control of this. And that's probably going to be a foul snooker by the looks of things. So a couple options here for Scotty G. Well, he probably actually doesn't have any. Ideally, he'd want to knock that red in that's over the pocket. But I don't think he's going to have that luxury. What would I be doing here? It is a tough one. You've just got to go ball in hand, I think, and then disrupt them. Oh, he must be able to get something on this yellow on the bottom rail then. I thought the angle that he had would be too much angle to be able to hit that yellow, but he's sizing it up, and Steve Jamison's just come and have a look. A little baby swerve here. Oh, it looks tight. If he can knock it in though, that's the shot. It's definitely the shot if you can get to it. Oh, it didn't drop. Right idea, and now he finds himself in a bit of a pickle with his second. I think he's just got to cover this pocket now. He's just got to give two back and sort of say to Steve, have a go. It's pretty dangerous. I think they're still there for Steve to take, but I don't think he can tie it up, but there's no way he can win the frame with that red where it is. I guess it just depends how he's feeling, and he doesn't want to leave an easy starter, but I think Steve Jamison's got plenty of options, no matter where he is, so a bit of a pickle here, Scotty, at the moment. No, you're right, mate, I was just looking at comments. So Scotty's just sort of decided to try and get his stuff out of there as best he can, but I still think he's pushing it uphill. As long as that red's in there, Steve's going to have the luxury of controlling this frame and trying to develop a few of those balls in there that are a little bit tricky. Still got a little bit of an issue with those two balls towards the bottom rail if Scotty takes this bottom left-hand pocket. I think the shot is to still run this yellow on the left-hand rail down over and take the pocket. Once you do that, you've got two of Steve's reds, those two near the bottom, that don't go into the bottom left, and he has to start doing something with his white ball and creating something. I mean, obviously someone of Steve's caliber can do that, but at least make him do something. Whereas this way, he's still got total control and the luxury to just develop a few of these dodgy balls that he has now, which I think he's looking at the cut over. There is an out there, depending on how he plays this, but he might just opt to develop it. And so I reckon he's trying to cut off that yellow down there, because that's still the shot. But if Scotty hasn't played it by now, I'm not sure he's going to at all. So they all go, those reds, if Stevie just needs to be able to get in and get a starter ball to get himself nice in amongst them, but hasn't been able to. So I think Scotty might be laying up on this yellow on the bottom right potentially. He might also look to knock one of these yellows that he's looking at now. I'm just not sure what he's going for. He's got to try and get that bottom left-hand pocket, in my opinion. He's tying it up, but he's not doing himself any favours. I think there's still the possibility if he run that yellow down and took the bottom left-hand corner, he'd have a bit of control, but he's actually made this a little bit tricky now for Steve. He's covered that red on the black to the bottom right and tied up those two down the bottom. So I think, as I said, I think it's still the shot now if he's got to run this yellow down here and cover this bottom left corner. He has to play it now. He has to play it. If he doesn't play it, he can't win the frame. No, he's not going to play it. He'll probably still win the frame. develop these balls. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I doubt Steve will have a go because of where he is, but I'd imagine he's probably just going to push this. Oh, is he going to have a dip after all that? He's having a dip. Wow. I'm a bit surprised he went for it, because he's potentially just put himself massively under the pump. Now all of Scotty's yellows go. I thought he had the option of just laying his one of those reds that were touching the yellow to cover that yellow on the left rail, but now he's had a dip, and yeah, he's a little bit under the pump here, and still is. Interesting, he had a go, so good to see him have a dip, but if Scotty can pot them, they're all there. You'd almost have to have a dip at this one up to the top left, I reckon. And suck your white back a little bit, maybe. I don't know if those two reds that are just to the right of the white ball now, I imagine they probably both go to the right middle. If they don't, I mean, depending on what he has, you could have a dip at this one up the rail, screw your white back, leaving him nothing. Otherwise, you have to go this one over the bottom right, sort of try and screw out to get on another ball, probably the one to the left centre, and try and get them together there. So it looks like he's going to have a crack at this up the top. So I'm wondering if, I don't know if he's actually had to try to pot that, or he's tried to leave it safe. Again, if neither of those reds go the right middle, he may as well just had a dip at that one up to the top left, but maybe he did and he just misjudged it. But anyway, we'll soon find out. A few other results. Travis Corley up 4-zip over Jamie Peterson, a local fella. Ronnie Farmer up 3-zip over Trent Billington. Andy Bailey 3-zip over Travis O'Mani, and that could be a foul. And Steve has fouled, so that's going to be 2 for Scotty. In doing so, he has tied the black up a little bit, but there shouldn't be any problems for Steve from here. For Scotty, rather. This ball here, he's going to make sure he gets on his next ball here. It's probably the most important shot. Is he trying to screw down in the black spot here? I'm not sure. Just give yourself a shot, and that's not going to go good unless he gets a good kiss. I think he had the right idea, but he probably didn't need to be that cute. He could have controlled it a lot more and just left himself a long pot for that ball that's sort of just below the black to the right corner. He could have left himself on that pretty easily and still had plenty of options for his next shot, but now he's probably going to have to waste his first, and I think Steve Jamieson will probably be pretty happy about this, because it's going to be a little bit tricky from here, depending on if that black goes. He's got to, I think he's going to try and develop it now, but it's still a bit of a lottery. Anything could happen from here. And that's a really good shot from Scotty. They all go brilliant. What am I talking about? What an idiot. Great shot there from Scotty. He's just got to play a couple of good shots here. Screw back out now. Just about left of the black spot. Somewhere there would be good. No, the 8-ball black spot, I mean. Pink spot. Oh, and he's overcooked it. But he might be okay. Just sort of pump that one. Stay down on it. Hit through the ball. He's just got to hold his nerve here again. Again, probably looking to try and come somewhere around that 8-ball black spot or the pink spot. And it's fallen in, and that'll do. Maybe not. I actually think that might be a bit crook. He's actually got not the best angle to go up the table. I think he's got too much angle to play the lower of the 2 yellows to the centre. And I don't think that the lower yellow goes to either of the 2 corners, so he's got a bit of work to do now. It actually isn't good at all, so just goes to show, while they might have looked easy, you've got to make sure of these outs when they're there. So he's now sort of got to force this top yellow, I reckon, and try and generate something off a couple of rails to get in behind the yellow now. He's got to get in under it somehow, which isn't easy. So I'm just trying to see what else he might have. I mean, the crazy shot would be to maybe play that top. I can't see how much angle he's got. I think he's got to play that one off to the right middle, the top one, and try and come off 2 and get back down there. But he's not looking at it. I think he might be playing it off the red. He might be playing for this for the bottom right corner, off Steve's most right red. No, the cut was fine. What am I talking about? Somebody get me off the mic. That was easy. No, it wasn't easy, mate. It looked pretty good. I think he got a fair bit of love there. There was a couple of collisions with the white, but still a really good shot. But got a pretty good result. Land fat on the yellow, and yeah, you should stun this in or screw it in a little bit. You just want to make sure of that pot, obviously, but fair result. Yeah, good pot, and should hold his nose in what was an interesting frame. As I said, I think Steve had a dip at one point there, which I didn't expect him to, and in the end it's cost him the frame. It wasn't the greatest frame I've ever seen, but in the end Scotty looks like he's got it, and that cost him. So Steve Jamieson 5-3 up now over Scotty G, and next frame interesting. Scotty can just sort of stay with him. Put a bit of pressure on him. You never know what might happen, but these next few frames really important. Obviously, a big difference between 5-4 and 6-3 in a race to 8. So a big frame coming up for Steve Jamieson and for Scotty G. So 5-3. Steve's a break. So Steve's last break, he went out off the crack. Off the crack, there you go. Went out off the snap. Looking to go again. Let's see. You got a big break, old SJ. Sorry, he's not old, just not whites. Looking, tracking. I've put the Mickey on him. And they look lovely, don't they? Look at those. Black's a little bit tied up, but for a few balls next to it there, you can develop that black quite easily. He's got some really nice balls there, depending on how he goes about that, to be able to just sort of bump into it, and just needs a little bit of a kiss into it just to open it a little bit. And yeah, I think reds are definitely the ball. Just make sure of this starter, Scotty. Oh, he has banged it. And made it potentially a little bit trickier with just putting that yellow above that red. He's still got a bit of room, but it has hampered him a little bit. Just made it a little bit trickier. I'd have to think if he's got an angle, he's almost going to have to try and play on this ball now. You play this one to the right middle, run through a little bit and leave yourself that angle to cannon into that little cluster to develop the black. I think that's the shot now, just because you give yourself some options with balls on the table when you play it, and I don't think you want to leave this ball. I mean, you could argue that you leave it for your last ball, but it depends, I guess. I wouldn't be doing that, but it looks like he's committing to putting a few of these balls here. I just think that's when it potentially goes up to the right middle and to the right corner. I'm looking at this most bottom right red. If the black goes to the left middle, maybe he doesn't have to develop it. Maybe he doesn't. But he's still got to make sure of it. He's still got to play a couple good shots here. And this one, starting with this one, got to make sure of the pot, and then he's also got to be careful with his white here. He's played the cut. Where's he landed? He's not in the greatest spot. Well, he might have got a good result. So he's actually could be perfect here to play this red. He's just looking at the middle red there to the right corner and cannon into that top yellow of Steve's 3 yellows next to the black there. If he can play that cannon here, if he's got enough angle, I don't know. It might be deceptive on the camera, but the shot that I would be looking at would be that cannon into that top yellow to land fat on that red on the right. I guess the problem with that is then you got to get on the black somewhere. So I think he did play for the cannon. He just overcooked it. And he's now pretty much facing the same shot I was saying he might have been looking to play maybe 4 shots ago, where he played the first ball to the right middle. So he's going to go into these, and I think it's naturally pretty nice that if you can just play the pot at a decent pace, he should get out on his red and develop the yellow as well. He's overcooked it a bit, and he would have got away with it. He had good attempts, but hasn't made the pot, and it would have been a massive result. So now Steve's got a bit of work. I think he's going to have to hide his white here. Play this one on the left rail, potentially. Maybe he's going to look to pot. I think that yellow on the bottom rail goes under the right red in the right corner. But I reckon you'd be playing this. Yeah, this one here, and screw off the rail and try and land on that other yellow that's behind that. Yeah, that's a great shot. If you don't pot that, that's a great hit. Nice shot there from Steve Jamieson. So I'm not sure if the up and down is there for Scotty G to be able to play for that ball in the right corner. If not, I think he's still got a little baby swerve there to be able to get out of it pretty easily. The problem is they're all open for Steve. That yellow on the cush goes under the red in the right corner. So depending on what he does, unless that little baby swerve and kick that red, into the black, or he has to sort of cause some problems with it. He's got to be careful what he does here. Yeah, I don't think he has too many other options to play the little baby swerve off the cush. Yep, so he's played it, and yeah, look, he bumped the black a little bit. Steve's got a little bit of stuff he needs to make sure of these 2 yellows next to the black. They aren't easy, by no means, but he's definitely got options with those. Once he can get in and around them. Obviously, neither of those 2 yellows next to the black there go down the bottom right. But once they do go to the right middle, it's just about getting on them. He played a really nice shot off the cush there, Steve Jamieson, to come out on that yellow. That was probably a little bit underrated. Hard to judge those ones, but this one here, I think this is the one you play to get on your ball to the right middle, and he's missed it, which is a big miss. So just took his eye off the ball there. Potentially he was playing for that yellow of the 2 next to the black, the top one to the right middle, because they were his tricky sort of ones. Just missed the pot, so Scotty G with an awesome opportunity to put some pressure on Steve here. He needs to finish these up. Shouldn't be too difficult. It's just about making sure of them, make sure of a couple pots, make sure you get on your black, fat, wherever you want to go. He's got a few options with it. He's just got to make sure of it here. Starting with that one, that's a good pot. Now, I'd be inclined. Would I be playing for the top left or the top right? I don't know if it goes to the bottom right corner, the black. I don't know if he's got an... I don't think it does. Try and have a look now. I think the yellow just covers enough of it. So I'd probably be just playing the gentle shot for top left, which he has. Look, it'll do. You just got to get down and knock it in now. He just sort of took his medicine, didn't do anything too crazy with the white. There's a sort of potential shot there to come out off 2 and try and play for the black in the bottom right, but I don't know if it went. I think he looks like he might be trying to play this to the centre. Surely not. It has to go up the top, doesn't it? Really good pot there from Scotty G. So massive frame there. So Steve, a little bit under the pump now. Scotty G's won the last 2 to go 5-4, sorry. And yeah, that was a big frame, because instead of it being 6-3 now to Steve Jamieson, it's 5-4. Scotty's reeled off the last couple, and well and truly in this match, 5-4 to Steve Jamieson. Yeah. Yeah, Steve just sort of missed one that was a little bit unexpected, and it's now 5-4. And that's it, Scotty the G spot. So another big frame now. Obviously they're all big frames, but Scotty could be flying here with a break. Steve's just done the toilet break. He knows he's sort of just flunked out a little bit there, lost a bit of concentration, maybe taken him a bit for granted, and got himself in a little bit of a match here. So he's going to take a break. I think it is Scotty's break, and yeah, Scotty would love to be able to produce a big break and drop a couple of balls, and if you can put a pressure on with an out, it'll be game on. I still think Steve's still favourite. I think he's fine. He's just sort of had a bit of a lapse in concentration in the last couple of frames, but he's going to make sure now that he forgets about that and just starts again. Still up 5-4, so it's not dire just yet. So while we wait for the guys to come back, big shout out to all the sponsors of the Kings Cup. Harmony German Club, On Cue, Cue-Ball TV, I think Pool Start, Sorrel Locksmiths, Eagle Eye Cleaning, Corb, Framework, Formwork, Knuckles, Unique Electrical and Data, Handy Hand Pro, Sunday Soccer, Ibis, Diamond Brookwork and Design, the Top Rack, Team Leash. Big shout out to the Avar family in commemoration of Alicia Avar. They've been awesome in supporting this comp as well. And we've also got, who else we got? Oh yeah, we've got the Top Rack. And obviously a big shout out to Matty Harmon. Put a lot in, get this comp going, and it's come to fruition now. So really good to see everyone here and playing, and yeah, getting into the fun stuff over the next couple of days. And a big shout out to Kenny Nicol as well, the man behind Cue-Ball TZ, whatever you want to call it, he doesn't care. Cue-Ball TZ, awesome stuff, mate. Setups, first class. As always, invested a lot of time and money and effort into this, so much appreciated, mate. And I think everyone's really taken over from George as well. The guys there had a bit of a later foundation, mate, and you've sort of taken it from there. But it's really good to see, and it's fantastic. I know when I'm not able to play in comps and even things here in Canberra, it's really good to be able to jump on and have a look, mate. So well done. And as I said, behind Dan Lynch is obviously the man, but he's giving you a bit of advice and helping that sort of stuff, which is awesome. But yeah, this setup is reminds me of that. So doing really well. Yeah. Obviously Dan's the man, but you're doing really well, mate. So good stuff. A few other matches still going on around the place. You got Philly Bailey up 2-1 over Jeff Elcher, a local Canberra player. Phil, ex-Canberra boy, come down for the comp. Good to see Philly here. We've got, I'm not sure what's going on in this Travis Corley match. It must be over. They just haven't updated pool stat. That one hasn't changed for a while. It must be a few of the guys not updating pool stat potentially. Steve Jamison's. Oh, this match is back on, I think. Sorry, mate. No, they were. I thought they were just about to play. It's Scotty's break. So we just got a bit of issues with someone's phone for pool start, so the boys are just sorting that out before they get going again. But yeah, here are all your sponsors flying up again. And here we go. Scotty about to break off now in the 10th frame. And a bit of a match on our hands here. He has gone dry, which is unfortunate. Interesting break. I'm leaning towards yellows. I think you got that yellow there stuck on the red on the right hand side, but plenty of options to develop that. I guess it depends on the starter ball. I'd definitely be leaning towards yellows just for that the ability to be able to develop that dead yellow, but he's going to go red's fantastic. What would I know? There you go. Interesting to see what he does with this one. I think he could be on it now. And if that's the case, if he's played for that, that's a brilliant shot because you have to play it now. You have to run through here and develop this red, which he has. And that's a great shot. So that was the problem I thought with the reds, was the way you develop that. But he just made me look like an imbecile and played it brilliantly. So still got a little bit of work to do here. Do you leave that rail ball for your last ball to get on the black? Do you screw off this red now to land fat behind it? Or do you go back up table? I think if you screw back, you want to be sort of straight behind it so you can get your white back up the table. You don't want too much angle. Could be... I think with this one, that's fine. He's just got to cue it well. He's got to really commit and cue through the ball to make sure he gets his white back up around the middle of the table at least. Nope, okay. Just hang it, fair enough. I suppose he did leave himself a pot, nothing wrong with that. I just, preferably you're a bit closer to the action, but he was happy with in or over and took his medicine if he had potted that with a longer pot, which is fine. But yeah, now a massive favourite. He's got the bottom right corner, obviously. Scotty's got a fair bit of work to do now. All the yellows are open. It's just a matter of figuring out how you're going to get in under these three yellows in the corner now. Plenty of room to get in under them though, so plenty of options. It's just sort of Scotty's just got to figure out how he can get in there. But once he can, he's missed the pot. Unfortunately, that could hurt him. I think that'll be good night, Irene, for this frame. It should be. Steve will be looking to get this one done now. Get himself going again. Get the arm flowing. And yeah, 6-4. He's a little bit more comfy. Arm's a bit looser at 6-4 than it is 5-5. But yeah, he needs to try and take this one. I think he should. Just got to make sure of it. Just transition to the black from that ball in the right corner. Potentially a little bit tricky, a little bit of traffic, but a player of Steve's calibre should be fine. But yeah, got to be careful of these. I imagine, I'm not sure he's going to play the black to the left centre, or is he just going to screw out off the red in the corner and play the black to the left corner. Can't screw out. He might be too much angle. I think he might have to he might have to go into these yellows. Nah, he's going to soft screw and play it maybe to the right middle or the left middle. I think it doesn't matter. Oh, what a shot. Oh, he's just underdone it. So I thought I would have played deep screw on that and tried to hold me white along the rail, bottom rail somewhere. Because you had both middles. You could have played in both middles. But, I mean, he was, a white ball and a half away from that being a super shot. Now, I don't know if he can cut it. Sure, I don't know if he might be too close to his work to be able to cut this black to the bottom left. Or he's got a gap to the bottom right, maybe a little bit sick. It looks like he is. He's having a go. Just screw his white off the cush, keep it away from the left corner. And he's missed it. And, huge chance here for Scotty. Wow. So there you go. That was always the danger. The black wasn't easy to get onto. I mean, someone of his calibre definitely shouldn't have been a problem, but got a little bit tricky. A huge chance now for Scotty to go fives. I'm not sure if those two yellows that are next to each other, if the right of the two goes under the black, because I don't think the left one passes. I don't think the left one passes because of the yellow that it's stuck to. You think the right one goes? Oh, and he's missed that. Oh. Wow, that's a big miss. Can he swerve it? Can't swerve off the cush. Oh, it'd be tempting. The problem with the swerve is you miss it, you're going to go. You might have to go the up and down Ken Dog. Is he totaled? I'm sure he's totaled. Yeah, well, if he hits it up and down, he's surely in or over. It's a sort of dodgy angle. I don't like that. I'm terrible at the up and downs, but yeah, definitely the shot. Just a nice weight. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Oh, and he's developed it. Well, it's probably actually not the worst result considering, but if anything, he's probably made it a little bit harder now for Scotty with those yellows, but the starter ball's big. I think he can only play the double of that yellow on the left there into the right middle, and if he gets that, he goes massive favourite. If he doesn't, could be a little bit of hiding to be done. Big shot coming up here. Oh, hang on. He's having another go at it. Oh. Right, second. Now I'll be interested to see what Scotty does here. You can't give a player of SJ's calibre too many chances at, blacks that are just sort of sitting in your pockets and that sort of stuff. So this is a big shot. And that's going to make it a little bit hard. Yeah, that's not nice. I don't like it. You've almost got to play the push shot. I don't think he can play off that right yellow and snooker. I think he might kiss his yellow that he's on now. I'm not sure. Maybe he can play it fine enough. I suppose he's going to cover the black with this yellow that he plays now anyway, isn't he? Didn't want to be too full. It's got to get up. And that's a pretty good shot. It's actually, he's recovered pretty well considering. So now Steve's going to play the same shot. I think he's got a bit more room now. I think the last time he had a couple of yellows that were a bit close to the black. It might have scared him off, but I can't see him missing it again. He's got to adjust now. He's a little bit wide the first time. That looks a bit better. That looks perfect. Oh, no, it wasn't perfect. What am I talking about? So now a huge chance for Scotty. And got a bit of a match on our hands here, Ken Dog. Big chance for Scotty now to go 5-all. He's just got to, again, make sure this starter ball. He's got to play that one to the left centre and just back himself to finish him. You have to play that yellow closest to yourself, closest to the white to the left middle. Your white's safe. You're running away. Keep it on that right-hand side of the table. And then ideally, you probably want to play one of the yellows of those two that he's near at the moment, I reckon. Oh, he's missed it, but he's got away with it and had that shot to nothing element about it. But as I said, a player of Steve's calibre, you can't keep throwing chances away, so I wouldn't be surprised. I think, the shot here might be to try and play off the black and bounce it off that rail to cover the yellows to the right corner, potentially. I'm not sure. Not sure what the thinking is. He's actually going to have a dip. Fair call. He's going to try and pot it, which is probably better than my shot, because if you're going to hit it, you may as well have a go. Have a go at this. That's a great hit. That's a nice shot. How are you, mate? Young Nathan Miller's just entered the building. Young pup on the prayer. He went the yellow to the centre and missed it. And then Steve played a nice shot to kick off the side cush. Knocked his black into play. Oh, I'd be almost tempted to play. If I can play that one over the top corner as my starter ball, I wouldn't be laying up again. I'd be trying to play that one in the top corner. He has played it. I would have just potted it clean. He's played a good shot. Shot to nothing, though. But again, he might have a baby swerve. He might have a swerve here, but I think the pace you have to play the swerve. It's not an ideal shot. He's potentially about to play the third up and down of this frame for the same sort of shot, isn't it? He's getting the black's closer and closer each time. Well, I think you got a natural angle to come off the bottom cushion and lay up on the black and snooker him, maybe. You know what I mean? Like if you play it nice, but it's got to be nice. He's just going to play this. This is the shot. It's in. The pot white's in. Oh, I think he's hit it. I think he hit it. He put his hand up, I think, to say that he hit it, and it was a total. So I'm fairly confident that I didn't see it move personally, but I think Steve put his hand up to say sorry because he hit it. But I'm not 100% sure, guys. We'll soon find out. I think if Scotty's playing another safety here, that's probably going to tell us. Oh, gosh. Good shot. So he obviously has hit it. Crazy frame, this one. Steve's now playing that same sort of shot that I had mentioned. You sort of want to play it half ball into the rail to try and half ball in the black. Oh, and Dick Bondiendi's walked in the building. Better than playing, mate. I'm better at watching than playing. Here we go. He's going to try and land on this. Kick it half ball off the cush. Great hit. That's a nice shot, that one. That's a great hit. And now Scotty G is in Pumpsville, under the pump town. Massive shot there from Steve Jamieson. I think you just have to try and lay up on that yellow of the two that are near the black and hope that you leave him totaled. So I'd be playing where the white ball is now. There's those two yellows closest to it. I'd be maybe trying to play a really soft shot and hit the top one of those two to try and total him back. I don't know. It's really ugly, or you have to go some crazy triple and try and hit one of those ones over the top left. I'm not entirely sure. I wouldn't really want to have to push the black down the cushion and give him two. But not nice here at the moment. I don't know what he's going to put a bit of right hand side on this. I have no idea what he's going for here. Oh, here's that shot. What a shot. Oh, did it hit? Did it glance? I'm just looking at... No, he's missed it, so it's a foul snooker. Very unlucky there for Scotty G. He did actually call the shot I thought he might go for. And Steve's got away with that one. Big time. What a frame. So that was a huge frame in the context of the match too. That one there could have levelled us, and now Steve Jamieson goes up 6-4. Big frame, that one. Crazy frame. Looking at the matches, Mal is down 5-6 against Michael Ott. I'm not sure who Michael Ott is. I think it might be an interstate player. Giving Mal a bit of a run. Steve Jamieson's gone up 6-4. Any YouTube comments? Oh, once you've done that, you're right. Got Kenny under the pump here. People telling me to get off. Yeah. Yeah, this pool stat scores aren't updating for all matches. They weren't before. I know there was a delay where a lot of them didn't move, but they seem to be updating now. Yeah, there was one like Travis's and it was 4-0, but the match was over. I know Ron Farmers said 3-0 and it was had been like for ages. So it might potentially, I don't want to say it is, but there's potentially just some issues with pool stat at the moment. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, we are aware of the score issues along the top guys. As long as the players are updating them, we shouldn't have any issues. But yeah, it seems to be just some delays with the scores updating at the moment. So apologies for that. But I think if you jump onto on table 2, is it? Oh, shitters. All right, so I think on table 2, we're going to have Jamie Walker and Neil Whitbread. Yeah, so the next match coming up on the stream, table 2, would be Jamie Walker versus Neil Whitbread. So I think Jamie's not you, Jamie Walker. Jamie Stevens just entered the building. His ears were burning. Jamie Walker taking on Neil Whitbread. So I think Jamie's a Sydney player. Yeah. You spelled Jeremy. Yeah, so, and the other game, once this match between Steve Jamieson and Scotty G finishes up, you'll have the luxury of watching myself taking on Jeremy Maguire. So thrilled to get a nice first round match against one of the top seeds that are playing. But yeah, hopefully I can turn up and give him a bit of a run. But that's what you got coming up, guys. Jamie Walker taking on Neil Whitbread on our available table at the moment, and then once this one finishes, it'll be myself taking on Jezza on the stream table that you're seeing on your screen now. 6-4 to Steve Jamieson, and he threw. It should have been 5-all. Steve's just sort of hasn't got going. Yeah, did ya? Yeah, it just hasn't got going yet. Yeah, I think so. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on it. Yep.
The reason I say that is I feel it just means I've got to update all the description each time. If you have a look at
So Steve just trying to navigate this little red here. I think if he can just pot it and screw into that yellow, he'll have a shot to the top left. Oh, he's not going to screw into it, like I said. He's just laid up. So he's just made it hard for Scotty now. But, I mean, has he left a shot for that yellow to go the top left? Oh, I would have thought he might have had a dip at that one if he had the potting angle on the red to the bottom right. If you screw into the yellow, you knock it out of the way and you've got that one of those reds to the top left, but I couldn't really see. I sort of switched late to that shot, so. But it's a bit of an error if this yellow goes up to the top left, which I think Scotty's going to have to have a dip at because he doesn't have anything else. Might be just a bit straight. I don't know. If you can just hit it, it'll go close. I hate these shots. Oh, good effort. I think the pace wasn't great, but I think he's now in a world of hurt. He's not going to have his yellows to the cush, and Jamo's just got to get up there now and get amongst them. Want to go sort of around the balk line, I reckon. Oh, we got to get a kiss, and that'll do. Balk line, what am I talking about? Middle of the table's fine, and maybe just got to make sure this red that he's next to now, he's got to put it in a corner, I'd say, or the left middle. I'm not sure it actually passes to the right middle, so it might be his last ball potentially, but again, he hasn't landed great there. He's got to play a bit of right hand side to come back out of balk now. No right hand side. I think he's fine. Kenny Fung's just entered the building, and yeah, so just screw back, maybe 6 inches or so, say around the balk line. I think it's fine. Just cue it in. Sort of just try and screw in behind this red and play it to the bottom right. No, all right. I cannot call a shot here at the moment. He's played off it and he hasn't landed great, but he's just one good pot. I think he's got to play it to the bottom left. Okay, he's playing bottom right. And that's a great pot. It got away, wiped its feet, but it's a huge pot. Well done. Didn't matter, great pot on that last red there. Didn't land great on it, but his potting ability got him out of trouble. So, just like that, Steve just gets to the hill, 7-4, and all of a sudden he's cruising after, that frame at 5-4 was absolutely massive. So yeah, once this one finishes, I'll have Jeremy Maguire taking on myself, and hopefully not too much longer, you'll have Jamie Walker taking on Neil Whitbread on stream table 2. Nice to get a nice easy draw to start, eh? Well, it's good to get a nice easy starter match to start with. Oh, wow. Well, I thought, there's the top, equal top of the group. Yeah, there you go. And then So then I thought, you know, of all the seeds, I'll have like a 1 in 4 at getting the seed, and then I was like, well, of the top seeds, I'm even less. And I was like, always the way. Anyway, I think we're going to play on this table, the stream table 1, when that match is finished. Well, Matt, I'm not calling the shots, Matty's. Anyway, yeah, it's all good. Talk to you. Anyway, folks, I might head off because I'm about to play. Oh, real stiff there for Steve. He's just knocked the black in. Just on that, so it's 7-5 to Steve. So the score's saying 6-4. Kenny's just got to do a bit of updating. The scoreline is actually 7-5 to Steve. He's just got a bit stiff there, knocked the black in. And I'm going to leave you to it. Enjoy the rest of your viewing, and I'll maybe talk to you a bit later. Thanks, guys.
Table 7, Standog and Dave Armstrong. Table 12, Tolly and Will O'Donnell.
sort of.
Table 5, Jamie Stevens, Zach Afford. One of his companies to lift up, please. Table 1, Jeremy Maguire, Brent Hampton. Table 2, Jamie Walker, Neil Whitbread.
Yeah, hi, Jamie, nice to meet you.
You too, Neil.
Table 4, Shane Smith,